안녕하십니까, 정철입니다. 정철의 요셉이야기 영어로 통독암송 254번째 시간입니다. 말씀은 Genesis 49, 31 through 32, 창세기 49장 31절에서 32절까지 말씀입니다. 자, 구호 외칠까요? 준비 시작. 성령 충만 영어 능통 와. 자, 지난 시간의 내용을 보면은 The death of Jacob, 제이콥의 죽음. Then, 그리고 나서 He gave them, 그들에게 내렸습니다. These instructions, 이러한 지시를 하였습니다. I'm about, 나는 막 하릴 것이다. Be gathered to my people, 나의 민족에게로 소집될 것이다. Marry me with my fathers, 나를 묻되 with my fathers, 나의 조상들과 아버지들에게 함께 나를 묻어다오. In the cave, 그 케이브 안에. 어디에 있는 케이브? In the field of Ephron the Hittite, 해족속의 에프론의 밭에 있는 케이브에 나를 묻어다오. 어떤 케이브냐? The cave in the field of Machpelah, 막펠라의 밭에 있는 near Mamre in Canaan, 가나안 땅의 마므레 근처에 있는 which Abraham bought, 아브라함이 샀던 along with the field, 그 밭과 함께 그 케이브를 샀어요. 뭐 하려고 샀는가 하면 as a burial place, burial place, 매장지로 샀어요. From Ephron the Hittite, 해족속 에브론에게서 샀어요. 자, 그 다음 이어지는 말씀 들어볼까요?
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
자, 볼까요?
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried.
네, 거기에 그 케이브에 에이브라함과 그의 와이프 세라가 were buried, 묻혀 있어요. There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried.
There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried.
네, 거기에 아이색과 his wife Rebecca were buried. 그러니까 아이색이면은 야고보의 입장에서 보면 아버지네, 그죠? 아이색과 his wife Rebecca, 아내 레베카가 묻혀 있어요. 이게 가족 무덤이네.
And there I buried Leah.
그리고 there, 거기에 I buried Leah, 나는 리아를 거기에 묻었단다. 레이첼도 죽었는데 레이첼은 여기에 들어가지 않은 것 같아요. 그죠? 레이첼은 행군 중에 죽었잖아요. 그래서 어느 길에서 매장을 했다는 기록이 나오는데
The field and the cave in it.
The field, 그 밭과 the cave in it, 그 안에 있는 동굴은
were bought from the Hittites.
were bought from the Hittite, 해족속으로부터 산 것이다. 문장의 구조가 아주 쉬워요. 한 번 더 볼까요?
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried.
거기에 에이브라함과 his wife Sarah가 were buried, 묻혀 있고
There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried.
거기에 Isaac and his wife Rebecca, 아이색과 레베카가 were buried, 묻혀 있고
And there I buried Leah.
and there, 거기에 I buried Leah, 내가 리아를 묻었고
The field and the cave in it
그 밭과 and the cave in it, 그 안에 있는 동굴은
were bought from the Hittites.
were bought from the Hittites, 해족속으로부터 산 것이다. 오늘은 굉장히 쉽네요. 자, 이어서 들어볼까요?
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
한 번 더.
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
Listen and repeat.
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
뭐
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
shadowing.
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
뭐 더?
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
뭐 더?
There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.
아주 쉽죠? 자, 엄지척 좋아요 눌러서 추천해 주시고 지금 현재 구독 중이 아닌 상태로 듣고 계신 분 구독을 눌러서 구독 중으로 바꿔주시고 그 다음에 공유를 눌러서 이 재미있는 강좌를 모르고 계시는 분들에게 강의 동영상을 보내주시기 바랍니다. 자, 그럼 라이팅 끝까지 꼼꼼하게 다 하시고 약 10분간 반복 낭송해서 이게 보들보들하게 유창하게 입에서 나오도록 연습해 두시기 바랍니다. 자, 그러면 주기도문을 함께 낭송하면서 기도드리도록 하죠. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Genesis 49. Jacob blesses his sons. Then Jacob called for his sons and said,
Gather around, so I can tell you what will happen to you in days to come. Assemble and listen, sons of Jacob. Listen to your father, Israel. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, the first sign of my strength, excelling in honor, excelling in power. Turbulent as the waters, you will no longer excel, for you went up onto your father's bed, onto my couch, and defiled it. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their swords are weapons of violence. Let me not enter their council. Let me not join their assembly, for they have killed men in their anger, and hamstrung oxen as they pleased. Cursed be their anger, so fierce, and their fury, so cruel. I will scatter them in Jacob, and disperse them in Israel. Judah, your brothers will praise you. Your hand will be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons will bow down to you. You are a lion's cub, Judah. You return from the prey, my son. Like a lion he crouches and lies down. Like a lioness, who dares to rouse him? The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he to whom it belongs shall come, and the obedience of the nations shall be his. He will tether his donkey to a vine, his colt to the choicest branch. He will wash his garments in wine, his robes in the blood of grapes. His eyes will be darker than wine, his teeth whiter than milk. Zebulun will live by the seashore and become a haven for ships. His border will extend toward Sidon. Issachar is a raw-boned donkey lying down among the sheep pens. When he sees how good is his resting place, and how pleasant is his land, he will bend his shoulder to the burden and submit to forced labor. Dan will provide justice for his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan will be a snake by the roadside, a viper along the path that bites the horse's heels so that its rider tumbles backward. I look for your deliverance, Lord. Gad will be attacked by a band of raiders, but he will attack them at their heels. Asher's food will be rich. He will provide delicacies fit for a king. Naphtali is a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns. Joseph is a fruitful vine near a spring, whose branches climb over a wall. With bitterness archers attacked him. They shot at him with hostility. But his bow remained steady. His strong arms stayed limber, because of the hand of the mighty one of Jacob, because of the shepherd, the rock of Israel, because of your father's God, who helps you, because of the Almighty, who blesses you, with blessings of the skies above, blessings of the deep springs below, blessings of the breast and womb. Your father's blessings are greater than the blessings of the ancient mountains, than the bounty of the age-old hills. Let all these rest on the head of Joseph, on the brow of the prince among his brothers. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. In the morning he devours the prey. In the evening he divides the plunder.
All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said to them when he blessed them, giving each the blessing appropriate to him. The death of Jacob. Then he gave them these instructions.
I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite, the cave in the field of Machpelah, near Mamre in Canaan, which Abraham bought along with the field as a burial place from Ephron the Hittite. There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites.